Hi guys, it's just about 9 a.m. and I just found a really cool stone in this little area, so I copped a squat here so I could talk really quick. I just dropped my car off at the mechanic for another repair, and on my walk back home I thought, well, that's a good opportunity to talk about last night. So last night I posted on X because my YouTube went down and I was unable to log in. There was a YouTube homepage there with just rando videos, generic videos, nobody I recognized, and it was not my homepage, it was just the YouTube one. So I hopped on X. X was still up, and I posted, YouTube is down on X. Somebody reposted my post. And I also had a weird feeling at that time too, so I was like, let me journal this, because just for posterity, you know? I mean, there's so many weird things that are happening in the world, and especially all the Mandela effect things. So I like receipts, and I don't ever put all my eggs in one basket. And what I mean by that is by keeping everything online only. My footprint is not only digital. I like to spend time in reality and doing things with my own hands. So I got up this morning and I checked online, and sure enough, somebody else posted a video that a bunch of websites were down last night. So what I did intuit while this was happening, now mind you, last night was an eclipse, which was only visible in Antarctica. It was the first day of Ramadan. It is the Chinese New Year of the fire horse, and it was also a new moon in Aquarius. So there was a lot of energies going on last night. And then, of course, with the evil ones of this world, they do all their sick rituals. So a lot of energies nonetheless. My cat even was going crazy last night. My coworker texted me this morning and she said, Jen, what was up with the moon last night? I couldn't even sleep and I got woken up. And so I told her. And to me, what was done online last night is a soft open for what's to come. I also want to mention that AOL, for those who are old enough to recall those days, I have seen AOL make a presence on my internet just in the past couple of days, twice. So I'm thinking, oh man, is this going Hunger Games style, like district by district, like America's gonna have AOL and that's gonna be our internet, and China's gonna have whatever they have, and so on and so forth. I can see it happening that way. So last night what happened is what I'm gonna call a gathering. They shut everything down so they could gather all the information on us. So I just want to touch base with everybody because targeting is getting heavy again. I noticed that I feel like when Morgellons was happening to me in 2019 to 2021, at one point the fibers felt like they were wrapping around my organs on my insides and squeezing. And I've been noticing that my upper torso, like my neck area down to my lower back, so basically my whole spinal column, feels like it's in a vice grip this week. And my aunt has even given me lidocaine patches because I'm in a lot of pain. And this happened before, when the attacks really ramped up. and the nanotech was being programmed to do whatever it's supposed to do. So another thing that's happening again to me is I had all these little tiny red dots that look like a ballpoint pen, just tip of a ballpoint pen, little red dots all over my chest and stomach area. And it looks really weird. So I'm kind of out in public, and I don't really know that my phone would pick it up, so I don't really want to lift up my shirt and show you right here, but I'm tempted to. So I am just trying to keep my energetic space as clear as I can. To look at this nice little spot. Old Florida, even a sugar sand parking lot. I miss things like that. It's rare anymore in the concrete jungle. So things you can do are taking salt baths using Epsom salts, borax, baking soda. I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. I'm just sharing tips that have helped me combat the harmful frequencies that are constantly pounding us all on a daily basis. Sound frequencies, sound healing, chimes, bowls, gongs, solfeggio frequencies, hertz frequencies, they're all helpful, and they actually vibrate your cells on a cellular level. So there's nothing you need to do. You just need to listen. And what I like to do when I'm listening to sound frequencies for healing is I like to visualize in my mind's eye and imagine, like, let's say I'm having lower back pain. Then I'm going to focus all my energy in my mind's eye on my lower back, and I'm going to send love and light and comfort and healing to that specific area simultaneously while I'm listening to the frequencies. So it's like a boosted effect healing. Other things that I've done that have helped me especially combat targeting and keep my energetic space, call it the aura, call it the biofield, I just call it my energetic space, my personal space, which doesn't just stop at my skin, it extends. It's my personal space. So I keep that in integrity. One way to build up your defense, to have like a shield around you, is to stay in righteousness and integrity. And by righteousness, I don't mean self-righteous, holier than thou, better than you for superiority reasons. No, I mean you're doing the right things. You're living your life the right way. You're being a kind and good person. You tell the truth. You love rather than hate. You help rather than harm. That's living righteously. Oh, shenanigans. Hang on. There we go. They can never leave well enough alone. So, sorry, that's my sarcastic, disgusted voice in a song. Meep! It's a blue jay. Everybody loves the sunrise in the morning and the sunset. So anyways, I just wanted to share about what happened. You can also keep your energetic space strong, and I mean strong, powerful by keeping your virtues up. And what do I mean by that? Well, don't just give it away to any rando. Respect yourself, respect your body, and treat it as the sacred temple that it is. And don't let others treat it any less than that either. When you retain your sexual energy rather than constantly expressing it through orgasm, then you also boost your shielding abilities, I'll say, energetically, because you have more frenetic energy that is like concentrated. So if it's expressed all the time, like all the time, you're just like flaccid energy, so limp energy. Sorry for those terms. It's the only ones that do it justice. So I'm quite enjoying this little walk in the sunshine this morning back from the mechanics. I love my home. That's why I love Florida. I love the wildlife here. So if any of you had an experience with an outage, internet outage, or website outage last night, please comment below. And you don't have to say specifically where you're from, but just, an area would be cool, helpful, so we can kind of maybe start gauging where all this happened. Now, one other odd thing, I was in the middle of watching a live stream podcast when the outage happened. And the weird thing was, outage happened, so of course no podcast that I can watch, no live stream. And then maybe about however long it lasted, 20-30 minutes, I'm just going to guesstimate, came back up. YouTube came back up, and the podcast was still going on. And I'm like, how can they be streaming live on this podcast when YouTube was just down? Then I started questioning, was it just me? Am I being hacked again? Things like that. So, yeah, see, that's what right there, who has to ride by and has no consideration but themselves, and they have to blast their music in a residential neighborhood at this time in the morning where a whole bunch of elderly people live. That's what you call a cracked out agent, what you just saw right there in front of me. So, welcome to my world. So, I hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world, and may the odds be ever in our favor.